everybody. To this lecture on SoC. In today's lecture, we will discuss about the design methodologies of SoC. So in the initial lectures, we have already talked about the different approaches. Like we have talked about the IP based, we have talked about the platform based. Now we are going to, the thing is the same. The co-design methodology or the function architecture co-design, it is the platform-based technology. But let's see what has been the evolution in the terms of the linchpin technologies which have been contributing to the SoC design. So let's start with it. So if we see the evolution of the silicon process technology, we know that we have been progressing at quite an alarming or significant rate, you can say. So in 1997, we were at a 0.35 micron technology, and today, and in 2002, it was 0.13 micron. And today, we are already into the era where we are talking about 5 nanometer commercial products. Okay, so with this uh, evolution of the silicon process technology going to that level of the transistor density, it has really been challenging to maintain the or design a complete system on chip. So definitely the design approach to how to implement or how to design such a complex system also must have been undergoing some changes over the time, and this lecture is all about that. So the growth of associate is governed primarily by first growth of the IC process technology, that how well we have been able to put how many transistors or how densely we have been able to put the transistors or the components or the chip. That depends upon the process technology. And the next is the design methodology accordingly. That is what I told you, that the approach to designing more and more complex system also requires a change. We cannot use the same approach which we are using to build a simple calculator to build a complete mobile device. Okay, so that obviously they are having a varied level of complexity, and the approach towards their design is going to be fairly different. So, by the Virtual Socket Interface Alliance, a group which was formed which fostered certain standards for interfacing, even the communication networks, they were standardized by this body. So, uh, as per their definition, the SoC has been defined as a system on chip or a system LSI or system ASIC or a system level integration device. Okay, whereas the DataQuest has defined the SoC as having greater than 100,000 gates with at least one programmable core and on-chip memory. So it is a complex IC that integrates the major functional elements of complete end product into a single chip or a chipset. So these definitions we have already seen, but we are trying to understand the complexity which has been captured in these definitions over the time. Okay, so this was ASIC design. So these are the physical components. So they were integrated on a board to make a complete system. But now there are IP blocks. The blocks, they are authored. When I say authored, it means they are designed. Their design level can be RTL, they can be in the soft core, or they can be a hard core. And these virtual components, which are pre-verified in nature, which are predictable, which are known to have a, which are known to have a, you can say, a known kind of working functionality. We are familiar with the functionality. Those virtual components, they are designed together on a single chip. They are integrated first virtually, and then they are integrated as a complete system to work as a complete product. So this is the approach, the difference in the approach. So with these increasing levels of complexity which are being depicted in the last slide, between today and tomorrow, there was a significant you can say, evolution of the design methodologies. So initially, it was the area driven design methodology where area minimization was the key. So small size ASIC designs, that was the key to designing the systems. Okay. So we wanted to increase the functionality in the lesser area. So it was area driven. But that was very short lived. And next important or the significant design methodology which came in was the timing driven design. In the timing driven design, it is a modular approach where reusability was just introduced. So it is very good for describing the moderately designed custom logic systems which impose a floor plan centric design methodology that supports incremental changes in the design. So basically, it is a top down approach, a purely top down approach, just used for the custom logic as in ASICs. Okay, so time was the criteria. We wanted to achieve a functionality, and uh, saving on the time was one of the driving force which was there. So it worked well for the moderately designed networks or the circuits, and it was referring to the new designs or the application specific designs which are coming in the market. Okay, so reusability was not a buzzword at that time in the design market. Next shift in the approach was block based design. So as the levels of complexity increased, so obviously timing also we wanted to save, area also we wanted less, power also we want to save, but with the so many constraints, it was very difficult for designing the systems from the scratch. So that mandated the system to be partitioned and broken down into blocks, and some of these blocks could be taken from the previous designs which are already verified to save on the time, effort, and hence reusability. It came into the design market. And eventually, we are into the platform based design approach or the design methodology where not only the functionality uh, based IPs are authored, but even the architecture is being or the communication interface is being reused. Okay, so that definitely saves on lot of time, effort, and involves a lot many new processes of licensing, reusability, configurability, standardizing the processes. So it came in vogue, and it was one approach which was suitable for the complex SoC, the kind of systems we are looking to design in today's scenario. Okay, so that made the things very easy. It was simple plug and play kind of thing. You can bring in the different components, the architecture is there, the interfaces are known, so the components with the known standards, they are going to be integrated together. In case there is a component which is reused, which is not we can say falling to the standards or matching the standards, the wrappers were there, and so everything was standardized, so they could be configured, they could be brought together and made to work as a system in comparatively a lesser amount of time, saving a lot of design effort, but then lot of effort goes into the verification and testing part. Okay, so that is the platform based design approach. So let's one by one try to understand the linchpin technologies behind each of this methodology. So time driven approach, it is a top down approach. So it is good for moderately designed ASICs, as I already told you. Block based, it is partitioning at the functional level and then trying to reuse some of those. So IP reuse, it started somewhere in this phase. So it was better in the design reuse as compared to TDD and area driven EDD design methodology, but still it had lot of shortcomings. And then eventually we moved into the era of platform based design approach where the architecture reuse was encouraged. Not only the functionality was uh, partitioned and decomposed, but even the architecture was actually model of architecture was used for design reuse and then bringing together the components for integration. So coming to this timing driven approach, so here the focus was to reduce the time. Okay, the linchpin technologies in this was interactive floor planning tools, the static time analysis tools, and the compilers. When I say interactive floor planning, it means which give the accurate estimation of the delay and the area of the designs. Okay, and which could be reconfigured, which could be used, which could be changed. Because here the the number of designs which were specific to certain applications, the custom logic was in vogue because VLSI was at that time coming to the market in vogue, and that is why there was lots of development of the custom logic. Okay, so the typical ASIC approach was being followed, and that was dictating the market. So, but to get the optimized design, it was required that floor planning tools are used which are interactive enough to allow to see and to be evaluated if that falls in place with all the constraints and the performance objectives achieved. Okay. Then there were the static timing analysis tools for estimating the timing. Okay. And then the compilers were used for moving the design to higher level of abstraction with timing predictability. So the role of the compilers, the role of the software that was increasing in the hardware designs.